repeated denunciations of the Hungarian puppet regime by the UN General Assembly, Imre Horvat, Hungarian foreign minister, leads his delegation in an angry exit from the Assembly Hall. Unimpressed, the Assembly votes on a sweeping condemnation of Russian brutality in Hungary and the refusal of the Red-dominated government to admit United Nations observers. With only a few abstentions, the nations of the world take their stand. Hungary's puppet regime and Russia are condemned. One of man's dreams, space travel, takes preliminary form in a Washington research center. The skin of the Earth satellite is buffed preparatory to its launching within the next 2 years. The sensitive electronic instruments which will send its messages back to Earth from 300 miles are put in place. They will tell the still little-known story of outer space as the sphere spins around the Earth at thousands of miles an hour. Exposed to undreamed-of stresses and temperatures of thousands of degrees, the satellite will be a supreme engineering feat, as well as a pathfinder into the realm of outer space. Here is a model of the 72-foot rocket that will carry the satellite to its orbit, circling the Earth as a minor moon and a prophet of things to come. 100 Hungarian refugees are welcomed by Governor and Mrs. Goodwin Knight as they arrive at International Airport for resettlement in the Bay Area. As the first contingent arrives on the West Coast, the welcome is especially warm for the fugitives who escaped with little more than their lives. Mrs. Knight is particularly touched by the plight of the children and displaced mothers. Some only recently in the center of Hungary's drab brutality are overcome at the sight of friendly faces and the unfolding arms of America. In the Golden State, a new life, and above all, the friendship of free people. A preview of Universal International's Battle Hymn draws 2,500 industry leaders and celebrities, including screen star Sal Mineo, to see the dramatic, inspiring film story of a clergyman turned fighter pilot who saved thousands of Korean war orphans. He's on hand, Colonel Dean Hess, who's played by Rock Hudson in the film. Also on hand are members of the Korean mission to the United Nations, Ambassadors Ben C. Lim and Y.C. Chang, who extend their congratulations to Colonel Hess, preacher, soldier, humanitarian. It's not news when good neighbors go golfing. It is when they're heads of good neighbor nations. President Eisenhower and Prime Minister Saint Laurent of Canada tee off for a friendly round at the Augusta National Club in a foursome which includes the Prime Minister's daughter and Ed Dudley, Club Pro. Mr. Saint Laurent and his party stopped off for a brief sojourn while en route to Ottawa from Florida, where they had been vacationing. Ike had a better score than his distinguished guest, but in team play, they came out even. And the trip around, well, that was a breeze.